Welcome back to SL Chennai Speaks Out Season 2, Social Networking Sites, Networking or Addiction. Time for our third round, the most fiery of them all, Bowl Out. Your time starts now.
Now there are a lot of gadgets that come in, something called as a love meter. You can find out what is the love, where is this taking culturally. If you take, that's a problem. Now added to that, they are popping out with the chats. Immediately, instantly you can chat. So they are promoting consumerism. Now Facebook has come into the mobile phone. Instead of sending an SMS, you go log inside your Facebook, and then through the GPRS and other thing you want to communicate. Why do you want to touch your nose the other way around when it can be simplified process? Directly you can communicate with people. And moreover, if you see, there's a Stanford report which says the family bonding, the time spent with our family, it's really getting into trouble.
Yeah, but all said and done, this is your visiting card.
Yeah.
Okay, it says Orkut, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn IDs, Alchemist.
Great. Fine. Oh, okay, I'll tell you the story behind that.
Sanjay,
now what has happened is,
Vasu, can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
To just stress the point that he's making, he's talking about the wastage of time on these social networking sites. I think what would our team like to say on this?
All right, she's sprung to his defense. All right.
Okay. Incidentally, I was invited to be a panelist on this show through Facebook by Sanjay. He has my mobile number. He could have called me also, but I don't see anything wrong in him popping out a chat window and asking me either.
Exceptions cannot be taken as examples. Okay. Now the story behind this. Yeah,
this is
it's
not a virtual show. This is not a virtual show. You're physically present. I'm physically present. Sanjay is physically hosting the show. He couldn't conduct it on Facebook even if he wanted to, because that's really not how it works. That's really not how real airtime works.
We'll put up the video links on Facebook after.
Okay, I was invited through Facebook, and that's one good thing that happened through Facebook. I don't see anything wrong in it.
And one more thing I would like to state, people don't stick to the same social network, I swear. Some of my students initially said, sir, you are tagged. I said, what is tagged? Yes, sir, you need to be part of that community. After some time, they came and said, sir, hi-fi. Why are you not part of hi-fi? That is also gone.
To correct you this.
Number one, next they came to
that is a minority. That is a minority. You see, what happens is in every community, you would have these migratory birds, and you would have the ones who sit there. Okay, now some of us are on Facebook. We are on Facebook because we want to network with friends that we have lost over 40 years or 30 years, depending on how old we are. Okay, and you, like me, I have lost friends and re-networked with them, and when they have come into India, I have gone out of my way to meet them. Now, it's not wastage of time. There are people who will waste time.
Oh, obviously, that's what most of
if you see that, those people, even if there's those people, even if there's no networking, they'd find other reasons to waste time. Okay, exactly. So it's not because of networking and because of these added gadgets that they are wasting time.
I'll come to you now. One student, gets into Facebook. You know what happens? It becomes a herd crowd. Hey, are you in Facebook? No, go. Hey, we are in Facebook. Now that kind of herd crowd comes into picture.
I think you can ask them. I don't think that happens.
Certainly that will happen. I'll certainly vouch that certainly happen. It's a prestige issue that they have an account in the Facebook.
I think one of the things I'd like to add to what Vasu is saying is that it may not be part of the herd crowd or whatever, not in that kind of a mob mentality, but it's definitely a social statement. It's definitely a social statement to update your Facebook sites and talk about the cool things you did, the places you visited or the things you went to.
Okay. This is where parental guidance comes in.
So you feel parents should not allow children on social networking sites. You're just supporting our cause.
No, I am saying that everything needs a little bit of regulation, especially when you're growing.
How do you regulate?
How do you regulate?
How do you regulate? It's an online platform. How do you regulate it?
When you're not in the face, you regulate.
I actually know a lot of friends where probably there might be a girl or a guy sitting there. Their parents are on Facebook on their profiles as well. That is a regulatory mechanism by itself.
Absolutely.
Okay. They have the confidence that their children are doing what is known to them. Okay, and the children also have the confidence that their parents are taking some interest in their social activities also.
Doctor, with due respect, you yourself spoke about the various options that are available on Facebook. If I don't want my parent to see what I'm doing, I can block them. And everybody sitting there knows it. I don't want my parent to see what I'm doing. I can block my parent from seeing my status update. I can block my parent from seeing my photo update. Or
also to add and ask Dr. Manoj Mehra, just to add to Jayashree's question, there are also ways of even getting on Facebook and Office and going undetected. There are new sites to even teach you to do that. So you actually would be playing Farmville and your HR manager will not know that.
The whole concept of monitoring or the whole concept of controlling what your child is doing is not a possibility on a social networking platform which gives you so many options that all you need to do is to know how to use it. And that I'm saying is a hazard. It's a hazard for our youth.
Yeah. And next thing what I would like to tell is the vocabulary they use and the words BTW, LOL. LOL, I don't know, they have various interpretations for that. Laugh out loud, love, something, there were some more interpretations
that
are
is something that if you actually look
come out.
into history,
Yeah.
if you listen to ancient English and you listen to English today,
Okay.
I'm sure our ancestors are saying the same thing about the English that we talked about today.
It happens. And we are, okay, as you rightly said,
Hi Machan on SMS and Solida Maple as a reply can be allowed. Why can't LOL be allowed?
yeah. And the fact is, in one of the, Facebook, I say no Somalification. I was looking into the dictionary for this word called Somalification, and one guy says, I bought a new bike which can drive assaultly. I was wondering, where is this assaultly has come into picture? Assault is to kill people. But you see the local language, assault
Probably that's what they meant.
Casually, yeah,
Probably that's
I don't
what he
know
meant.
what they meant. A foreigner reading that language, what he's going to think? Oh my God, okay, the roads, they're going to, drive assaultly. Now this actually, what is the type of language that is coming out? What are we living for the next generation?
If a movie can be called Kundaka Mandaka and if a Vijay TV program can be called Lollu Sabha, I don't see anything wrong in Somalification either.
Okay, now this.
I think language is one aspect perhaps, but here we are talking about, much more serious issues when it comes to a social networking platform. We are talking about, we are talking about lives being put at stake. We are talking about causes. A real war is never fought online. A real war has to be fought on the battlefield, and that is what social networking is doing. It's removing your concept of reality.
Why don't you tell the Union Cabinet that with regard to the Shashi Tharoor case? Why did he have to lose his post?
It's such a waste of time like I
Why
said
did he have to lose his post?
The previous point that I had made, that policy cannot happen on a social networking platform. And when when there is loose talk, in spite of everything that's available to you, when there is loose talk, look at the controversy over Ravanan. Look at, any of the ministers who are online savvy, and they put up, some status updates, and that becomes a huge controversy. Why? Because the media is following that status update. It's much more, it's like a much more minimal version than of a soundbite. A soundbite, you still have those 10 seconds to think. You have the face-to-face when the correspondent has to meet you. Here, nothing. You just say, okay, I'm feeling bored, and why is this happening in my life? And then you type out some status message, and that's it. That becomes a cause for a huge furor and huge, a national political upheaval happens. So I'm saying that these are so many issues that we really aren't ready for. We haven't really thought about these things, and then we just stepped into them, and we are just enjoying the moment. And I'm saying, have you thought about this huge hazard? Have you thought about this before putting your foot in?
See, I would like to put this in a very simple way. I have seen a guy on a Ferrari, okay, drive like a darling with all civic sense. I have seen a Maruti 800 zip through him, okay, like a maniac. It's all up to you. It is the individual. Self-control is something which is in your hands. Okay? It does not matter if it is a social networking site or a non-social networking site. You might be somebody very decent on a social networking site, and you can be a jerk elsewhere. Okay, so
if
it's up
that
to
be
you.
the case today, marijuana will be legalized. Okay, you take the discretion; it's freely available. You decide whether to use it or not, and everybody is going to turn out to be addicts.
There are countries where marijuana is actually legalized. There are countries where prostitution is legalized. Okay, and they happen to be more developed countries than India. So why is that?
I don't know. You don't say communism works in China; it works in India. It's a faulty analogy. It doesn't happen.
It is
that
not
way.
faulty. It varies from place to place. It varies from person to person. Different sectors follow different policies. What is right here might be wrong somewhere else.
I may be extremely safe, adding only friends that I know and putting up, information only for my friends. But still, when an information is available online, it is open to being lifted and used online for any purpose. And you know what I mean. I'm saying this is the risk of a social networking site. This is not something which you say, if you're driving fast, you're completely in control of the car. You're driving fast, you've taken a conscious decision. But if you put up some personal information and someone else is using it for some other purpose, then you have absolutely no control over it.
It's the same analogy actually. If you take the car that you're driving fast, you have taken the decision to drive, just like you've taken the decision to go onto the social site. Both
You've
are a
taken
risk.
a decision
Both
to be
are a risk.
risky.
Let me finish.
Exactly.
Let me finish.
You've come to my point.
If everything is a risk. When you're driving on the road, it is a risk. It's a risk for you behind the wheel. It's a risk for the pedestrian who doesn't see you and crosses the road without giving you a warning. So every sphere of life, there is a risk. When you step off the stage, there is a risk that you might trip and fall. or, you know, it's everything that you do has a risk involvement in that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the guy who drives a car, if he takes the risk and says, I'm going to drive fast, it's not just his risk. What happens to the pedestrian or the cyclist that he hits on the road? It has the same analogy also in social networking.
Talking of Facebook and especially road safety, through Facebook I came across an outstanding advertisement, a public services announcement of a hutch dog, a pug, sitting at the graveyard. And the caption says, I can't follow you everywhere. Don't use mobile while driving. So there's a whole lot of awareness that can also be generated through these sites.
So this ad you could have, received as a mail seen on television. You could have seen it just about everywhere.
It's doing the rounds. It's doing the rounds on.
Very important report from Daily Mail. It says you get, your attention span is really into trouble when especially children get into Facebook. And this is a devastating. Already they suffer from a lot
What is their attention span in the classroom?
Probably 2 to 7 minutes.
2 to 7 minutes?
Yes. It also depends on the
There are
professor.
teachers here, they're not looking very happy.
But what was our attention span maybe 10 years or 20 years ago?
See, I'd like to.
Attention span was very high
No,
because of the
it's
Facebook
still-
attention.
It
It has
was
come down.
2 to 7
I'd like
minutes,
to
come
add
on.
something here.
You know,
Okay.
even in,
Today-
sorry, go ahead.
Today, none of us talk about Doordarshan. But once upon a time, Doordarshan was the only source of entertainment.
Today everybody talks about NDTV, say that also.
Doordarshan used to be the distraction factor. Huh?
Today everybody talks about NDTV.
Yeah. So once upon a time, Doordarshan used to be the only distraction. Okay. Then at another point of time, video games used to be the distraction. Like that, as trend changes, there is always a distraction factor for
So
everybody.
are these sites
So
distractions?
Facebook is a distraction. Yeah. So that's
So are you saying that it's a distraction?
You can
Absolutely.
take it as a
You just-
distraction. It is up
you
to
just
you.
Welcome
up to
him
you to
onto
take
our
it.
team. We'd like to welcome
It is
Doctor
up to
onto
you
our
to take
team.
it.
Yeah. See, the question is studies also is a distraction, if you look at it.
For that you're
You
definitely.
can see all the students alone clapping. All the students alone clapping.
Like what Sanjay had mentioned earlier about the pedophile cases. Today, these pedophile cases are coming out. It's only because of the social networking sites. If you actually go to see the number of pedophile cases that were there.
It's not coming up,
that
it's
were
growing
there.
up.
No, it's not growing.
Yeah.
It was as big earlier. Only today it is coming out.
That's all the time we have for on this particular round called Bowl Out, but we'll have another round. That's our final round, the grand finale on the show. Third umpire, where all of them are almost rolling up their sleeves, including those who are wearing short sleeve shirts. But stay tuned, we'll be back.